as the dignified elder statesman of the band team.
I really just maybe we'll do bloopers.
There you
Are
go.
we already recording?
Oh yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, we got all of that.
Oh,
Yes. Don't worry, I got you. It's gonna be great. This is gonna be great.
Awesome. Are we ready?
let's do it.
So like
Okay.
3. What?
Nothing. Are we
We
ready?
do like a couple. We'll just like I'll get quiet for 5 seconds and then you can start.
Sure.
Because then I'll know when I'm looking at it when to. Okay, so like.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are your Islander Middle School band team, and we are beyond delighted to welcome all of our students back to the band room. It's so fantastic to have the kids safely back playing music together and enjoying the experience of band. We are Haley Smith, Jacob Krieger, Kyle Thompson, and I'm Dave Bentley. We hope tonight's presentation provides you with an overview of the program and what it will mean for your student.
Briefly, we will discuss the scope of this program, the materials that your student is going to need, what the curriculum really looks like, and a little bit about COVID safety.
Thanks a lot, Haley. Hi again, everybody. My name is Kyle Thompson, and I teach the 6th and 7th grade brass and percussion classes here at IMS, and also teach a bunch of band up at the high school too for that. And I think I'd just like to take a minute and just kind of take a lay of the land and where we're at this point in the year. And I think that it's really clear that even though our classes are still really different than they were a year and a half ago, I think that there's no doubt that our sense of band community and certainly musical ability is outpacing where we were at this time last year. And I think that that's just, symptomatic of us being in the class together with the kids every day. And so far, it just has been an absolute blast to do band with your students for that. So even though we recognize that we lost a bunch of time last year, we're so lucky that our band program isn't just a one-year experience, though. It really has been designed to function sequentially from 5th grade all the way to 12th grade. And certainly this format is already helping us move quickly into the future for all of our band students. And we're really excited to put the COVID deficit behind us for that. And lucky for us band directors, all of your students will have each and every one band director as their teacher at some point by the end of their senior year. No matter what grade your student is in, though, or what teacher that they have, we have a few virtues of the Mercer Island Band program that we're really proud of to work on daily in each and every one of our classes. And these virtues include, first and foremost, musicianship. We want your students to not just play an instrument, but be a well-rounded musician. Well-rounded, though, doesn't mean the best. It's so important to note that you don't have to win at band to get something life-changing from it. And we're really honored to navigate students through all of those pathways that band has to offer for them each and every year. The second virtue is inclusivity. We take great pride to create a home for every band student, no matter what. We really enjoy celebrating the whole student, and we feel that it shows in our bands and student community. The third virtue is teamwork. Let it be known, if you didn't know already, that there is no junior varsity band. Each of our students are starters and integral parts of our team, and we certainly count on them to be present in each and every moment. Our class challenges our students in the best ways to help them become great teammates. And then the last virtue, and quite possibly the most important, right, is the gold rule. We talk about kindness, and let's be honest, it's a tough world out there, and kindness sometimes is hard to be found. And as much as we work on music, we also work on kindness in our classes. Okay. So thanks again for joining us here for our curriculum night, and we're looking forward to a great year. And Haley, I'll pass it to you.
I I'm going to talk a little bit about the materials that your student will need to bring to band each day or most days and during rehearsal. Before we get into this, I just want to mention that all of the information that we're highlighting here can also be found in the handbook, which is linked in your email along with this slide presentation. So if you have any questions, you can always go and locate all of this information there. So I guess first off, I'm going to go down the list. This I snapshotted what it actually says in the handbook, and I know it just says it's on page 3. I'm just going to go down this list just so everything is really clear. Your child will need a band book, and this is specific to the band class that they are in. They can tell you more about this because we're talking about it a lot during class, but make sure that the correct band book is ordered. I know that in some classes they have one that's only on Schoology. They don't need to order it. It's there. Others you order online. So make sure that you've got the correct book with their name in it so that they can participate in class. Also a working instrument. Students' instruments may start out the year sounding great and playing great, and sometimes things happen, and we try to fix what we can in class, but occasionally it does mean a trip to the music store to assess what's going on and make a quick fix. Let us know, but a working instrument is key to their success. A pencil, that's an easy one. And then there's 2, actually, Jacob, there's another slide after this that I'd love to show right now, a lyre and a flip folder. These things look different depending on what instrument your child plays, and they are for playing outside on the field or participating in marching band later on. This is most, I guess, we'll use these soon, we hope, at All Island Band Night in October. We will teach the students how to use these. We will talk about exactly which one is which and which one they need to go after, but we wanted to let you know if you have not ever purchased a lyre and a flip folder for your student, this is what they are. I guess, Jacob, we can go back now. There are band binders for all students. There's a $5 fee that's shown up about this. Each student will be given one of these binders, and they'll be expected to keep their band music. Any materials that we hand out and hole punch for them will go into these binders, and they'll be taking these home or finding ways to snapshot the music on them to practice, and we'll be using them in class. Polo shirts are also on the list. As you can see, it says that they're to be determined. They haven't been ordered yet or sized or anything. We are waiting until we have a little more information about how COVID safety relates to performances before we order these. We will let you know. Please stay tuned. I also wanted to mention that percussionists, you have your very own page in this handbook for what materials you need. Please check it out. All the information is available there for you. Let us know if you have any questions. Finally, music lessons. We want to let you know that these exist, specific for your student's instrument. And we encourage them for anyone and everyone. Of course, they're not required, but we provide a list of lessons, private lessons teachers on the Music Booster website, which is also linked in your email. Please check it out. We think that this is the best possible supplement to your students' learning. It's a one-on-one setting. A lot of teachers have adjusted to providing Zoom lessons, which is awesome. So check it out. This is something that we're encouraging, but again, it's not required. That is all I've got, and I guess I'll pass it off to Jacob.
Thanks, Haley. So to speak a little bit more specifically about the curriculum this year, our band classes, as always, are centered on ensemble performances. And as such, our curriculum is designed to give students the tools that they need to be successful as performing musicians. We're constantly evaluating what those performances are going to look like, and we'll have plenty of details for you as we head into those performances. But the tools that we teach are some of the things that you see on the screen there. And this year we're joining other people, other classes within Islander Middle School in piloting the grading for equity grading system. And so for band, that means that students will be evaluated on their growth within these four main areas. That's ensemble skills, instrument skills, music literacy, and musicianship. And if you'd like to read more details about what that specifically means, you can find that in the band handbook. And for more information about this grading system as a whole, you can find the school's video entitled Grading for Equity. Of course, an important part of this growth that we're going to measure is regular practice at home. To facilitate this growth, students should be practicing their instrument an average of at least 15 minutes a day. This helps to reinforce the learning that happens within the band room and allows students to take the next step in their musicianship. So we hope you can help students find the time and the space that they need to spend time on their instrument at home. And to hear a little bit more specifically about what band is going to look like this year in the classroom, I'll pass it off to Mr. Bentley.
All right, thanks so much, Jacob. Of course, we're all living through a global pandemic here, and we do want to talk to you a little bit about a very specific and well thought out COVID safety plan that we've developed in partnership with our school district, and want you to know what mitigation strategies we're using to keep students and staff as safe as possible. All of our guidelines, as I mentioned, were developed with our school district, and also either meet or exceed the Washington Department of Health, excuse me, and OSPI guidelines for music playing. So we'll talk a little bit about what that plan is, what those things look like, and so you can kind of have a picture of what we're doing to try our best to keep your kids safe in the classroom. Our plan includes instrument-specific PPE, appropriate spacing between students, personal hygiene and hand hygiene, and room ventilation. So a little bit about all those things. The PPE that we have for students, for wind playing students, percussion is a little bit different. Are two items. Each one of the students has been given a special mask that you can see here. It's a slitted mask, so it's got a spot next to the student's face where the instrument mouthpiece or head joint can go through, and then it has an opening so that the student can play the instrument, and then the flap closes when the instrument isn't next to their embouchure, or their lips, I should say. And then all of the instruments have a bell cover. This happens to be a trumpet, but there's a specific fabric that's used to make these bell covers, and you can see they slip over the bell, and we have these for all the instruments. Every instrument, every student has been issued one of those bell covers to use on their instrument. And then the next thing that we're doing is keeping students. The Department of Health guidelines this year require that our students are at least 3 feet apart. And I can say that in all of our classrooms, our students are 3 feet or more apart. And we're utilizing the size of our band rooms to make sure that we keep students as safe as possible with regard to that distancing. Obviously, the basic things: personal hygiene, hand hygiene, making sure that we're on top of that. So we have all around all of the music rooms, we have a good supply of hand sanitizer. We encourage students to wash their hands frequently, especially when they're touching anything in the band room, and to minimize touching of music stands and etc. We are asking percussionists, so a little bit different, percussionists use a standard mask at all time when they're in the band room. And then we're also asking percussion students to bring their own stick bag, including sticks and mallets, so that we can keep the sharing of any sort of equipment to an absolute minimum. People playing student, or I should say school-owned instruments, in every case, we have a student has their own instruments that's not shared, or in the case of large instruments like tubas, we have enough instruments for the students to have their own instrument at home and an instrument that they play at school that's not shared by anyone else. The last thing that I'd mention about this is that we're really quite fortunate in this beautiful building that we get a chance to teach in. We learned a lot last year through the beginnings of this, and this building actually has really state-of-the-art ventilation. And so where other rooms have air that comes in high and exits low. The way these rooms are designed, they're all large spaces with very high ceilings. The airflow enters at floor level in these rooms and then rises away from anybody that's in the room and exits the room near the ceiling or at the ceiling. And of course, that takes any kind of aerosols up and away from any participants as soon as possible. So it really does work out for us that these rooms are about as safe as any room you could find. Okay, and the last thing I think I want to say is that we're doing everything that we can to keep your kids safe. I just want people to know that there's nothing that we're scrimping on here, or no corners that we're cutting. Nothing matters more. Musicianship, community, fun, any of those things. Nothing matters more to us than keeping the students safe. And so we just want you to know that while we can't guarantee that nobody will contract COVID while they're here, we can say that the mitigation strategies that we've used and been careful about have resulted in the fact that we have not had no transmissions of COVID in our band program at the middle school here since we began last March. So hopefully, knock on wood, we can continue with that trend. The last things that I want to say about that is we really have given students permission to make sure that they feel safe. So if a student is in any kind of a place at any point during a rehearsal or a performance where they don't feel safe, they feel like they're too close to somebody else, somebody is too close behind them, they have permission to move. They have permission to get up and move and take themselves to a place where they feel safe. Also, we're encouraging students that, and this is the kind of thing that we remind pretty frequently, that if they at any point feel safe, we want them to tell us and to make sure we are at the ready to make adjustments in how we organize rehearsals or instruction to make sure that students are safe and feel safe. And I think that's about all we have on the COVID front. On the COVID front or on any other things, of course, if you have questions or want any more information, please feel free to email us. We're more than happy to answer your questions.
Lastly, none of this would have been possible. None of this is possible. This program would not be the way that it is without just the following people: Mercer Island Band Boosters, Fine Arts Advisory Council, Mercer Island Schools Foundation, IMS PTSA, and of course IMS administrators. We just owe these groups and so many more so much thanks. And just year in, year out, we're just very grateful to be able to be here and to be able to make music with these amazing students. Thanks, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Take care.